Have you ever just stopped and wondered how a totally false idea can take root and then just explode into something that changes the world? And usually not for the better. It's not magic. There's actually a mechanism behind it. And today we are going to take that mechanism apart piece by piece. We'll see how it works, and maybe more importantly, how you can build your own toolkit to fight back. So let's dive in.
First things first, let's be absolutely clear about what's at stake here. This isn't just about winning arguments on the internet. Misinformation has real, tangible, and, way too often, tragic consequences. This is not some abstract problem. It can literally be a matter of life and death.
I mean, think about this. January 6th, 2021, a violent mob storms the U.S. Capitol. What on earth could drive them to do that? A powerful, viral piece of misinformation. The completely false belief that an election had been stolen. And the result? People died, many were injured, and it left a deep scar on a democracy.
Or think about that horrific shooting in Buffalo, New York. The gunman wasn't acting randomly. He was fueled by the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, a baseless, racist idea that he soaked up online. And that idea led directly to the murder of 10 innocent people.
And this stuff isn't just contained to one country, right? It goes global. The invasion of Ukraine was kicked off with a justification from the Russian government that was built on a false narrative, this idea of a neo-Nazi threat. Misinformation became the excuse for a war that has killed thousands upon thousands and displaced millions. These examples, they show us with brutal clarity why this stuff matters so much.
Okay, so to really get how these falsehoods get so powerful, we need a model for how our minds even process information in the first place. I want you to think of your brain as a kind of information machine. Let's pop the hood and take a look at the schematics.
There's this great model called the Ames theory, and it gives us a really simple way to map out this incredibly complex process. It breaks down how we handle information into 4 key stages. And once you see these stages, you can start to spot exactly where the machine goes wrong.
So, let's walk through the 4 stages. First up is acquisition. That's just how we get information from the world around us. Second is inference. That's our brain trying to make sense of all that data. Third is memory, how we store it away for later. And fourth is spread, how we then share that information with other people. Acquisition, inference, memory, spread. That's Ames. Pretty simple, right?
Now, for this machine to produce something true, every single one of those stages has to work just right. But misinformation creeps in when there's a glitch in the system. So let's look at how this whole machine can break down at each one of those 4 stages.
The first glitch can happen right at the start, acquisition, the input stage. On one side, you've got reliable info that comes from careful observation, from experiments, from tools that are calibrated to measure the real world. But on the other side, you've got defective input. Somebody's just making stuff up, or they're using bogus methods, or creating these incredibly convincing deepfakes. It's the classic case of garbage in, garbage out.
The second glitch is in inference. That's how we process the data. A reliable inference engine, a healthy one, evaluates all the evidence and considers other possibilities. But a defective one, well, it gets corrupted by our own psychology. We're talking about things like motivated reasoning, where we basically just conclude what we want to be true, and confirmation bias, where we only go looking for evidence that supports what we already believe. This glitch isn't about the data, it's about us.
Third, there's a huge glitch in our memory, which is, let's be honest, it's far from a perfect hard drive. It's something called the misinformation effect. Incredible research by psychologists like Elizabeth Loftus has shown that our memories are shockingly easy to change. Just the way a question is asked can actually alter your memory of an event. It can implant a false detail that your brain later on will recall as being 100% true.
And the final glitch, spread, is where things get, well, explosive in the digital age. Someone called this information incontinence, which is a perfect way to describe this total lack of restraint in sharing. Before social media, a rumor traveled at the speed of gossip. Now, a false, super emotionally charged post can reach millions of people in minutes, spreading way, way faster than any correction ever could.
Okay, so the machine is broken. We've seen the glitches. It might feel a little hopeless, but it's really not. Because once you know how the machine breaks, you know how to start fixing it. So let's build your personal repair kit.
So what can we actually do about all this? How do we take back control of our own information processing and start, reinforcing reality?
All right, this is your 4-point reinformation toolkit. Let's spend a second with each one. First, learn to detect. This is your first line of defense. Before you believe something, you have to actively ask, does this get contradicted by other credible sources? Is the source itself known to be unreliable? Second, scrutinize the motives. Don't just look at the message, look at the messenger. Ask yourself, why are they sharing this? What do they get out of it? Financially, politically? A little healthy skepticism here goes a very long way. Third, and this one's the hardest one, spot your own biases. You got to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Are you accepting this because it's true or because it feels true and it confirms what you wanted to believe anyway? And finally, number 4, rely on external memory. For the stuff that really matters, don't just trust your own flawed recall. Trust the notes you took at the time, trust the documents, the receipts, the physical evidence that was recorded when it actually happened.
And this really brings us to the most important point of all. Technology, the media, all of it is incredibly powerful. But ultimately, the person responsible for running your information machine is you. You're the operator.
Back in 2018, this exact phrase was used to argue that facts are really just a matter of perspective. And this is the absolute core of what people call the post-truth mindset. It's the idea that objective facts are less influential than just appealing to someone's emotions and personal beliefs. And that, right there, illustrates the incredible danger of abandoning a shared reality.
Misinformation is not an intellectual game. It's a tool. It's a tool that's used to justify systems of inequality, to launch wars, to sell useless products, and to undermine democracies. In a world that is flooded with falsehoods, defending reality and seeking out the truth, that is an active, ongoing effort. It takes work.
So, I'll leave you with this. Every single one of us has this powerful information machine in our head, and every single day, it's being targeted with defective parts and bad code. If we aren't the ones to maintain it, to operate it with care, with a bit of skepticism, and with a real commitment to finding what is actually real, then who will?